Hey, yo, one more win for the good guys. Kedza Canuck back at you. It's a Superflex Fantasy Football show. Me and my homie D Nice, keeping it real, giving you all of your fantasy football information, details, stardom, sit-em, etc., etc. Welcome to the Bye-Pocalypse. Man, so we're going to chop it up here today like we always do. Hopefully give you a little bit of fantasy football feel. But I think the biggest feel is, ain't nobody playing. We got a bunch of teams. We got a bunch of teams that are off this weekend, and this is where things get real, right? This means y'all gotta manage your stuff. That's what fantasy football is about sometimes, man. It's really about just management sometimes and making sure that you have the right backfill for a week like this. Hopefully you do. And if you don't, you need to go scour that waiver wire. So we'll get into some of that, but waiver wire is looking a little bit barren, somewhat like a wasteland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of hurt human beings out there, which means folks have already been scouring them waiver wires for like my boy Naj, the immortal Naj. Shout out to you in the chat. He's hype about his dub, but I mean, jeez, and sheesh, most definitely he been scraping that waiver wire. I just don't know what's left for a guy like you know, yours truly, or D right next to
know
you.
that's right.
Oh boy, so we got to keep it. We got to take a look. We're gonna uncover rocks and stones and hunt high and low and see what we can do to hopefully make your fantasy football week a little bit brighter. Big shout outs to my guy. It's Crimson You Dig, who's out there in the chat. Thank you for the representation. Like, share, subscribe, give us a little bit of love as we move on. And a big shout out to our folks over in Twitch land. Big ups to Neil Wolf TV. Mad love to you, sir. Thanks for coming through. He wants to know, should he start Judkins over Sutton as a flex? Ooh. Hold on.
Cleveland has New England, right?
Let's find out who they're facing this week. And
I think Cleveland has New England this week.
I think you're right. They do. I was actually looking at that earlier on. They do face New England this week. That's
and the way they have to use running backs and the heater that Junkins is on. Junkins is about to solidify himself as a stud, as a fantasy stud, because number one, his usage rate, and number two, he's responding to the call. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, you know, I listen. I don't know what other backs you have, or you know, or your other choices over Sutton. Who Denver got this week?
We're gonna find out. So Denver is playing the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
Matchup, man.
Nah, listen, you gotta play Cortland Sutton, brother.
Yeah, you're right. The Dallas Cowboys secondary is kind of weak.
You gotta play it.
Oh yeah, they're a bit weak sauce. That might be your money ball. And in comparison, we're talking about the New England Patriots defense, which has been playing pretty decent defense.
Pretty decent. But you know, Junkins, regardless of what, and Cleveland in general, they find a way to get in the red area. You know what I mean? I don't know how they're doing it, but they find a way to get in the red area. And Junkins responds to the call. You know, when called upon, especially in that red area, man. You know,
you're nailing it, brother. So 25 carries last week, 84 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns on the ground. That's a pretty wild week. You know, that's a pretty wild week for Quinshon Judkins. But so here's the caveat, and here's the thing that everybody has to recognize. That was up against the Miami Dolphins. So, you know, you kind of got to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. And again, like I say, you're nailing it, because how the heck are these guys getting into the red zone? And the answer, one more time, is because they're playing against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. And remember, I told y'all last week, any Dolphin stock you own, get rid of it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told you guys last week, look, Tua has put himself and put his team in a position where, well, he's put his team in a position where they don't have a choice. You
Here's
know,
your only saving grace with respect to that team. Like if you're hurting, take a quick peek at Darren Waller, who's he's 78% rostered, which is a lot higher than expected. 40% started. If he's available in your fantasy football leagues, he just might be. You know, Darren Waller ain't crazy, but everybody else, with the slight exception of the running back now, and that's. I'm glad we're talking about this. Let's take a quick peek at Devin A. Chain. Devin A. Chain's putting up numbers because ain't nothing else really working over there. So A-Chain, Waller, and exit, right? Like that's basically your Miami conversation.
Yeah, but you know, not to cut you off, kids, but Waller just had another MRI.
Oh no.
Yeah. So you know, he got a pec issue going on. You know what I mean? Now, A-Chain is gonna give you production, but as far as the production he would get if that situation was more stable, nah, you have to bump him down.
Darren Waller week to week following MRI out. So yeah, ixnay on all the stuff I just said a minute ago about Darren Waller.
Listen,
it's bust.
Hey, gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's listening, it's more players out there. Drop all your Dolphin stock. Even though they're playing the Falcons this week. Still, stay away from anything Miami unless it's South Beach.
Man, yeah, oh yeah. Shout out South Beach, man. That's a great spot, man. I had a hotel out there one time, right on the corner of South Beach. It was a crap hotel, but I just walk right out into the ocean 3 minutes from my hotel room. Oh man, it was gorgeous.
Hey, and you look out the window. You look out the window. That hotel is all action, man. It's all
boy.
action.
All the way down the strip, and ladies, it was a beautiful thing. But the one thing that I found weird, and again, I wish I could tell you the name of this hotel, like Dodge a hotel like the plague. They didn't have no curtains. Like, there was no. You go in the shower after you come out of the salty ocean and go up and take a shower, wash that salt off. And I was like, damn, there's no shower curtains in here.
Full exposure, huh?
There's water everywhere. Okay, all right. Anyways, I guess they get down like that in Florida. I love Florida, man. Half my family's out there. Shout out to my Florida fams. Anyways, you know, outside of the Florida fams and Devin A-Chain, you know, go right to Tampa Bay. You know what I mean? Go right to T-Bay, or maybe take a left turn in Jacksonville. Right now, nothing good's happening in Miami.
But from right now, the only thing is doing something in the state of Florida, period, is Baker Mayfield. That's it. And since we're on the subject of tight ends, Mason Taylor is quietly getting more opportunity week to week. He put up 9 points last week. I mean, versus who was that? Versus Carolina.
Yeah.
But they play Cincinnati this week. Not much difference in defense. Matter of fact, I may give Carolina a bit of an edge defensively. But and then they're going to be in position the way Joe Flacco has that team going offensively. They're going to be in position where the ball has to be thrown in the air. And he's found himself open, man. He's found spots and he's been targeted. He's got 5 targets again last week, 4 catches on 5 targets, 37 yards. You know, that's adequate. And never know against a team like Cincinnati, that can turn into 4 catches, 50 yards, and a score.
Man, Justin Fields having a rough season, man. Because you know what I mean? So he traditionally he's done very well with respect to the tight ends. He tends to target a tight end. When he was here in Chicago, he was hitting those guys. You know, he was hitting Cole Kmet quite regularly. He was making a bit of a nice play with Cole Kmet. I expected Mason Taylor to come into this situation and really establish himself with Justin Fields, but man,
like, you know, Justin lost his job, man.
Is what I'm saying. Like, it's not I don't know how much of I don't know if Aaron Glenn can really rely on Tyrod Taylor even then, right? Like even if Justin's bad, Tyrod Taylor ain't really proved in any capacity to be good. You know what I'm saying? So
Tyrod had a few good years,
yeah, he did.
but that's
With
behind. That's
Buffalo,
way behind him now. But with the Jets, you have to think about it. They want to try to get a win from somewhere, but the fan expectations and really probably a lot of players on the team, the expectations not too high for the remainder of the season.
that shouldn't be.
Tyrod gonna come in there, be a professional, get what he can get, and get up out of there, man. Cincinnati. Listen, this Cincinnati situation, and often the Jets don't just have a problem with offense. Their defense is pretty shaky too, but they have been playing. They did play better. Well, hell, that was against Carolina, so I don't know what they're saying, but
Yeah.
they played better last week, and we're gonna give them credit despite who they played. They played better last week. They lost Sauce Gardner,
Oh,
so you already know.
Sauce is out.
He didn't fin. I don't. He didn't finish the game versus Carolina, so I don't know if he's out, but he did get hurt.
Concussion protocol down.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh
there
boy.
you go.
Oh.
And Sauce hasn't been the same since his rookie season. I mean, if people want to keep it for real, but nevertheless, he's still a pretty good corner.
Yeah. So, geez. Yeah, things. Well, things just in general tend not to look great for the Jets. Shout out to Rich Eisen. You know what I mean? I know he's a Jets fan, and there's
Yeah.
always some sort of there's some sort of slight synergy between Jets fans and Bears fans because, good Lord, things are not necessarily great for either one of us. But speaking of the Bears, I think, and again, here's a young man who happened to make the thumbnail this week.
Oh yeah.
A certain Mr. Manungai is an interesting look this week, and my guy Crimson, where was it? Ball. My guy Crimson jumped in the chat just to let y'all know now would be a good time to grab Kyle Manungai. I have a
Yeah.
feeling he's going to start getting more and more goal line work. So I think there's some proof in that pudding, and what I mean by that is, this is a 7th round pick that just sort of got. He's been getting a couple of let's just look at what his snap situation is here, right? So 13 snap, 7 attempts, 6 attempts, 4 attempts, 5, and all of a sudden he got 13 attempts this week. So in week 5, the Bears realized, oh snap, we might actually be able to run the football. I mean, that's basically what wound up happening in week 5. So in the following week, that was week 6. In week 7 now, they turn around and they go, okay, well, if we can actually run the ball,
Yeah.
why not give DeAndre a little bit of a break and get the young guy some touches? And he starts to break out with a 17-point game. Fair amount of yards 81 yards on the ground. I think the Bears were in and around somewhere over 200 yards on the ground rushing, and that also includes Caleb Williams, etc. But they had a fantastic week rushing like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And I have a strange feeling this continues against the Baltimore Ravens, right? Because
Yeah. I mean, because the Ravens defense is bad, right? They may play now. They will play inspired this week because of their middle linebacker.
guess
Their
who's
mi-
gone?
yeah, and the middle linebacker has a bone to pick with the Bears. He's
Uh,
former Bears linebacker.
he ain't playing,
Um,
brother.
you don't think so?
I'm pretty sure he's hurt.
Nah, I think he's gonna play on this one. I think he's
I,
had this. I think he had this one circled since training camp. I believe he would have one. He would have to only have one leg for him not to play this game.
I think he only does have one leg. I think like that. You nailed it. I ran a quick search earlier today, and it says he's got snap. Okay. I need to pull this up just for myself here because like I say, I ran a search on Roquan Smith, just questioning exactly what we're talking about. Because besides Lamar, he's threat number 2. Smith suffered a grade 2 hamstring strain during week 4.
Oh yeah.
So
Hey,
he's missed the
brother.
last 2 games due to this injury. He's
Hey,
expected. Oh,
he,
would you believe it, man?
I think he's playing,
He
man.
might be playing.
He's playing. I think he's playing. But whether he plays or not, the Baltimore defense is not the Ray Lewis Baltimore Ravens defense at all. Far from it. But like I said, they may get a little inspiration to that this Sunday because of Roquan's beef with upper management, with the Bears upper management. So we'll see. But I think teams are really respecting the air attack that we have and the potential of things that we can do in the air. So I think they're in the process of picking their poison. And that's really what you want defenses to do.
Yep.
Because you want to be versatile enough to be able to beat guys, however, to be able to counter whatever the defense puts in front of you. And I think because New Orleans definitely did it. New Orleans didn't stack the box. They didn't do nothing acting like they wanted to stop the run. Everything was predicated on getting to the quarterback and making plays in the secondary. As you see, they did get an interception, but they didn't do anything to try to stop the run. DeAndre Swift first touch was a 5-yard gain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
teams are picking their poison. They'd rather the Bears because it was a thing that the Bears couldn't run the ball. So that's what they played to. And
That's a
you
fair point, man. Right?
pay for it. So it's gonna be times where Mononga be able to get in there, especially in the red area, like you said. He's gonna earn more snaps in that area.
I agree, and really what I was alluding to was the fact that Roshan Johnson is he's just falling out of favor, and there was a little bit. It's
But
true.
the funny thing though, Kez, Roshan came in the game, first touch, 11 yards.
It was a big gain. Huh? It was
11 yards.
he was playing like his
Yeah.
career
So
depended on it. I think he got a second touch in that game, which again was for a fair amount of yardage. Um,
yeah, I
but
don't know what landed them in the doghouse, man. But running 2 backs, it's kind of like when you don't have to. It's kind of you kind of taking away from yourself, man. If you can run that guy and make him put extra allow him to put an extra hurting on the defense to get a defense another look at another guy, why not? But we'll see, man.
yeah, we will. It'll be interesting. I have to also say that I loved when 2 games ago Ben Johnson just brought him out, gave him one rush, and then left him out there knowing I ain't gonna rush you again, man. Everybody thinks I'm gonna rush you north and south, so let me go over the top just because
Hmm.
I got you on the field. But all that being said, Kyle Mononga is he's definitely a running back that y'all should have on your radar. Keep your eyes peeled. Um, if again in the Bye-Pocalypse, you might need yourself a little bit of running back love, especially if you got Jameer Gibbs, etc., David Montgomery, etc. Go grab yourself Kyle Mononga and slot him into your roster. I expect he'll have a semi-decent game, but yup, man, that injury timing with Roquan Smith is very suspect because it sounds like he's actually going to suit up this week.
Yeah, man. Like he probably had this game circled, like I
Yeah,
said, since the
he,
offseason, man. Since
he
that
does.
schedule came out. You know, he feels like he has a point to prove. So let's see. We'll see if he can prove it.
He definitely does, man. He definitely does. Both him and I'm going to have to assume Lamar and look like they're probably going to suit up. So this is going to be a real test for those Chicago Bears. Our Chicago Bears. It's going to be a real test, and we'll
Mhm.
see how they do. And Crimson's saying here, if Roshan and Kyle, if Roshan and Kyle keep outperforming DeAndre every chance they get, it's only damn.
I don't know
Hey,
what I don't know what game he's been watching. I don't know what game he's been watching.
Me,
DeAndre has showed himself to be a threat running the ball as well as catching out the backfield. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen it, but it was a huge play taken away from DeAndre Swift by a bull crap penalty by Loveland.
dog. So basically, what we found out real quick was that A, the Bears have a run game. B, they know how to utilize DeAndre Swift, which is they're doing like a crack toss or toss crack, if you will, and off to the outside he goes. He's an outside rusher, and he's real damn good at it.
He and Cook he and Cook are very similar. People gave me pushback from that, but two very similar backs, man. He and the Buffalo
James Cook,
very similar backs, man. Very similar. James may be a bit more explosive, but if you watch him, it's the same thing.
Well, and the real upside for DeAndre is, again, his ability in the passing game. He's actually a very talented pass catching back, and I've been saying that as long as every time I cut the man down, saying like he ain't getting it done, I end it with he's one of the best pass catching backs in the league, in my opinion. Like he is. That being said, we're now finally seeing both sides of that coin in Chicago. So, long story short, roster and start DeAndre Swift. I'm sure it'll be a whole lot of running for him, and do the same thing with Kamanangai, because I believe the Bears have been really looking for that two-headed monster, and it looks like both of these dudes, man, there's your two-headed monster in Chicago. Who else do we have on the docket today? So let's see, man. Actually, let me look at something else real quickly. Bear with me here. So Detroit is out this week. I just want to round out which teams ain't playing this week for y'all, because you guys got to be vigilant with all that and manage things accordingly.
Detroit's off this week.
I'll tell you who's off. I think this is what I need. Here we go. All right, so Arizona Cardinals, kind of a good thing, because I've had it up to here with Kyler Murray, man. So Detroit, Arizona, the Jacksonville Jaguars are also off. Las Vegas Raiders, they're off this week. The Los Angeles Rams, so no Puka Nacua, who I believe is hurt. Even though he's hurt, this gives him a little bit of time to get back at it. And then the Seattle Seahawks, who are having somehow a bit of a spectacular season, strangely enough. I don't think anybody talks about them. They're having a good go at it.
Hey, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say right now, JSN is the best receiver in football. Right now. As of 7:25 Eastern Standard Time on October 21st, 2025. JSN is the best receiver in football.
That's there it is. How many different ways can you spell Jackson? I just want to look at man. Yep. That might be right. You know, like that's a tough one for me to just go out on a limb and say, but they're the numbers, y'all. It stands up. It stands up. 30 points, 20 points, one semi decent game. It's still 15-point game. 40 points, 40 points. Sheesh. You ever heard of man? Okay, fine. Damn it.
Hey, man. I just said as of right now, I'm not, he's still young in his career, but as of right now, today, there is not a better receiver in the NFL than JSN.
The guys I'd be talking about is this guy here, and he's a conversation, but once again, without Joey B, it's a bit of a problem. But right now,
no, absolutely. But I'm just talking this in circumstances we have to put those in there, right? But we just talking about what's going on right now because this guy has done it with multiple quarterbacks. Now he has my man Sam Darnold, you know, and I'm not taking anything from anyone else, but as of today, there is not a better receiver in football. I love Amon Ra,
I'm just
but
pulling up the guys that I would think of right off the bat who might be. There's two more who are holding that torch, right?
yeah,
Oh boy. The last one, in my opinion, would be. Go. No, so it might just be Puka Nakua. Like, it might be Puka.
I mean, you can go with Puka. I don't have an argument for it, but I go out on a limb and say Puka's he's a scheme
Dependent
player.
guy. You're right. You're right. They
You
do
know,
they get him open and it works.
but
It's
this guy, JSN, can line up anywhere on the field, run every route, clean. He's the best. I ain't gonna even mention as far as route runner. There's not a better route runner in the league than this guy.
Ooh. Hot take. Damn. Um Coming from me too, that's crazy wild. I don't, I don't.
If you get time, kids, you got to check them out. Before I went out on this limb, I did my homework, man, and I watched the game last night. And he went up against one of the best corners in the league instantly, top two.
Like I say, like there's in the list I just pulled up, which includes Emeka Ibuka, Puka Nakua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. The guys who jump out, Jackson Smith-Njigba right up there. I'm gonna have to say Puka Nakua would be probably number two. Like Amon-Ra's in that conversation as maybe a 3 or a 4. And then you got the three guys that you would naturally think that it would be. Jamar Chase, who's really the best wide receiver in football. You know what I mean? Like we know who it is, but you need that you need that duo, man. And it's really cool that they got old Joe. They got old Joe and young
Yeah,
Joe.
they got Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe's out there doing it, man. Uncle
For
Joe's out
sure,
there filling
for
them
sure,
shoes.
for sure, bro.
He tapped in. The guy who should be number 2 is the homie CeeDee Lamb. I think
Yeah,
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb cold too.
I think he would have these kind of numbers as well if he didn't get hurt playing against the Chicago Bears, which is just an unfortunate situation, but a very fortunate situation for my Chicago Bears.
I
And then you
mean,
get the guy that everybody says is the number 1 receiver in football. Unfortunately, they got a quarterback conundrum going on over there in Minnesota. So,
and I think AJ Brown should be in the conversation too. Well, not as far as the best, but he's definitely in the conversation top 10. He's definitely in that. But listen,
his
man,
numbers will not and we'll do it. His numbers will not support that situation. Right?
well,
Like
I could argue that he's having the same issue that Jamar Chase and Jettis is having. You know what I mean? Inconsistent quarterback play, bro.
Okay, well, their situation is like the human being isn't there. You know what I mean? Like there's like hurt human beings, and there's a whole other dude there. This
I
is
get
the
you.
same
I get
dude,
you.
and I'm not
get
going to take anything away from AJ Brown because again, he should be in that conversation. You're right, but something ain't right over in. I was talking to another homie today about it. Something ain't right in Philadelphia this week. It was as if there had been no problems at all. You know what I mean? Like, who were they playing against? And you got to chalk it up. Oh, snap.
They played up in Minnesota, man. They
Vikings,
played
man.
Minnesota.
That's a good defense. Ain't no excuse.
Heck no.
You
Heck
know,
no.
they play good
Heck no.
football again. So
Yeah.
it just flat out, like you said, it's just inconsistent. Who knows?
Yeah, that's all it is. Yo, listen, man.
Well, that's one way of looking at it, Crimson. But I don't know. Crimson says, like, y'all must mean the best player in fantasy football.
Nah, bro.
How do you
That too though.
Yeah.
But
When
nah,
it
bro.
comes to the wide receiver position, fantasy football is a good way of looking at who's who in the zoo. These guys have a great record. You know, if we're talking about Jackson Smith and Jigba, they're winning football games over there by hook or by crook. And he's having a spectacular season. He just is. So you can't take that away from him. We know who Jamar Chase is. We know who CeeDee Lamb is. Is it benefiting either one of those teams right now? I don't know.
If I'm not mistaken, right now, Jackson Smith and Jigba with nobody.
Somehow we lost the mid-sentence, mid-conversation. But he'll be back shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, sheesh. Hey, Nomad, what's going on?
What's going on, dog?
Hey, brother.
Observing.
Good to have you in here, man. Good to chop it up with. Hey, there's DD's back.
And I'm out.
My bad.
All right. It's all good. What happened? What were you saying about Jackson Smith and Jigba?
He about 200. He about 250 some yards away from 1,000 already.
Oh snap! We haven't even reached 10 games yet. Oh, he got a bye week. Yeah, he got a bye week this week. Yeah, he will get there easily. It's working, and it just surprises the heck out of me. But it's working over in Seattle with him. He's having a great season, man. Great season. Crimson, you're too funny. Crimson ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's my hot take for the week, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that far off though. I listen. I do my homework, man. I promise I do. And I ain't just finna sit out here. I ain't finna sit up here and put my face on camera and talk crazy to all these good people. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
The guy is on a major heater, man, and it's not a better receiver in football right now. I say it right now.
Well, and again, things to support that is just the straight up fact that he hasn't been injured and there's no injury with his quarterback. He's establishing that connection, and the numbers prove the theory. Everybody else has some sort of problem.
Yeah, everybody else has some sort of, but I don't think even if those other guys didn't have the issue, they would have these numbers. I don't think so.
Really? Well,
I don't think so.
That's where I slightly defer. I personally, in my opinion, the two best wide receivers in football right now are CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase. But again, no quarterback and injury, right? Those will be the two case scenarios where, you know, what do you do? I am reminding myself to take a look at the Tampa Bay wide receiver situation. So let's start we'll just go here, bada boom, because the homie Baker Mayfield playing lights out football.
Lights out, man.
Numbers for Baker Mayfield. Holy smokes. Yeah, man. Somehow snake your way into a Baker Mayfield trade if you can. 90% rostered, 80% started. He sure ain't on the waiver wire. But hey, if you can wheel and deal, it might be worth the look. But hey, let's look at this wide receiver piece. So, is Ibuka back?
Yeah, he played last night.
So he played. He's back, which is a great thing. Mike Evans is gone, so we're looking at homie that I actually like quite a bit, man. I do have some trust and faith in Sterling Shepard. There's probably going to be like an actual Sterling Shepard game where maybe I don't think we've had it yet. So they're playing the New Orleans Saints. So maybe that's where it stirred fried shit. Really? Jeez, you got to be joking now. Me. You gotta be kidding. Baker Mayfield,
real like some BS last night, man.
Huh? What makes you? Why do you? It was a slow. It wasn't. It wasn't one of them Baker Mayfield games like he's been having all season. If you look at these numbers, jeez Louise, 300 yards here, almost 400. He still put up 228 yards last night, man. Even if
It
it
was
was
crap time, man. It was crap time. Those numbers are kind of bloated.
okay.
Look at that game, man. Look at Crimson. He said he looked pretty bad, man.
Sheesh.
He looked like old Baker in that game.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess you can't win them all, but is good. It's Chris Godwin gone. Mike Evans is gone. So he's really just got one.
They are definitely going to have to get into because they got a really good record. They're going to have to get into the wide receiver market on a trade because
I don't know.
Broken collarbone. I don't see that guy coming back until deep into the playoffs.
So I don't know. So this kid. So you scouted him. What are your thoughts on Tez Johnson?
Tez Johnson looked like a dude.
You know what I'm saying?
He does. He's a good option, man. But you talking about pretty much a rookie, a second year guy versus getting you an experienced veteran. That might
Can you hear me, Cass?
So, yeah, you're good. You're back. Yeah, you're back.
All right. But
all right. So yeah, no, Tez Johnson is a good look if you're thinking about what do you do in Tampa Bay with respect to wide receiver, with again Chris Godwin being out and Mike Evans being out. The other one you might want to look at is, as I was saying, Sterling Shepard. So Sterling Shepard, you may just have a game here and there. Keep your eyes peeled if you have to do it.
I see you had Tez up there, man. Tez is coming to his own, man.
He is, man. Been a couple of games now. He's starting to step into it. Again, no man scouted him. I scouted him too. I think he's a pretty solid wide receiver, and he just needs more snaps, more game time to step in.
I was just about to say, I think the key to him is opportunity.
Yeah.
And with the way things are going on in Tampa, he's going to get it because the young boy, he's playing hurt. But that McMillan's already hurt. Mike Evans is done for the season.
Yeah.
Godwin is, but Tez is a burner, man. Tez is a burner. And Godwin is out. He's going to be out.
Well, that's what happens when you have some of the older wide receivers in the league, right? Chris Godwin and Mike Evans been in Tampa Bay forever, like KRS-One.
Yeah, but the other ugly thing about Tampa and its weapons that I think eventually is gonna fail them after having such a great start is the fact that still Bucky Irvin's out.
That's the biggie, man. I love that kid. One of those kids that's much like Cam Scatterwood that I was really hoping will wind up in Chicago last season. When he was drafted. And Chicago born and raised kid, he's out there just crushing it. But with him gone, I definitely directed the world to go and seek out Rachaad White. And I went and did that, and it's been paying dividends. So let's take a quick peek. I know I'm spelling this wrong, so I'm just going to go White. You know what I mean? Damn it. So last week was probably not his best outing, but it was against those Detroit Lions who were having a pretty stellar season. But the rest of the season, not so bad, right? 22, 17 there in the absence of Bucky.
The thing about playing Detroit, man, they just jump out so quickly on you, and they force you to be one-dimensional.
And there goes the run game.
Yeah, there goes the run game. 2 carries for 14 yards, so that was 7 to touch. So, that was against Atlanta. I'm sorry, but
well, that's because Bucky's playing, right?
Right. Yeah. But 10 carries, 3.8 a carry. It just got ugly quick for Detroit. For Tampa. And there was nothing they could do. But remember, Rachaad White was brought in to be the guy.
Yep.
Before Bucky emerged. But I think Rachaad has a lot of ability. Health has been an issue for him too at times, but I think he's very solid. He's very solid running back, especially like when your guy's hurt, he can fill in like no other.
Yeah, here there's
But
a lot of talk about Sean Tucker as well, and he's just not
yeah,
quite getting the snaps he would need to, to be worthy of a conversation right now. If anything happens to Rashad, there is your tried to true and tested RB3 who can come in and get the job done. He just needs the actual opportunity and the snaps. But the way Rashad's been playing, I don't see Sean Tucker getting it at all.
and it's going to create a very unfortunate situation for Tampa in his offense because they're going to have to change this thing all the way up. They're going to go from being, you know what I'm saying, an air attack into more of a slow ground game. And the beneficiary of that may be the tight end, Otten. Otten is a favorite target, for Baker, especially in times like this. Um, he may be the beneficiary of this new change. And for fantasy owners, because it's ugly out there now for Tampa. It's rough.
So if we're talking about tight ends, Cade Otton is definitely one. We talked a little bit earlier on about Mason Taylor. He's definitely one. Here's another one. Aronde Gap. So I don't. No, I put Joe Flacco on. I'm not sure if I put Aronde Gatson on the thumbnail this week. I don't think I did. I truly meant to because damn. Right, look at that. So
yeah, he really showed himself this weekend.
He did. He showed up. He started to find favor in that Jim Harbaugh offense with a great team, right? So they've got weapons, and once you again recognize, ain't nobody really got Aronde Gatson on their radars. 15% rostered, 10% started. He's out there. He's available. It's Bye-Pocalypse week. You might need yourself some Aronde Gatson love. So if you know what I mean, if you need to play somebody in the flex that's going to put up semi-decent numbers this week against Minnesota, might be a good guy to look at. It's going to be a tough, like they're saying, it's going to be a tough go against that Minnesota defense, but might be worth the go.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Minnesota defense is tough, but they have a lot of holes in there, man. Because they can't. It doesn't seem like they can get pressure without sending a blitz. But San Diego has offensive line trouble, and that's the reason. That's a lot of reason why Gaston is getting these opportunities. He's that guy standing alone in that short route in the middle of the field, waiting to catch it and go. So
must be all them rookies because like Harbaugh's I think he's drafted two linemen in the first 2 rounds 2 years in a row. I think that's how it shook out, and you'd hope that those guys would really step into the role. But I guess like especially on the line, sometimes you need a little bit of veterancy, a little bit of veteran love from a leadership perspective, and we're seeing a lot of that again with in regards to Chicago. Let's take a look at Mr. Arroyo as well. Let's take out in nothing special.
yeah,
Nothing special.
Yeah, it's a crowded spot over there. Look at Barner. Barner is the guy in Seattle. It's kind of crowded in the tight end room over there in Seattle. Quiet as kept.
It's Kenyon Barner, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
it's AJ Barner.
Yeah, Barner. Yeah,
Ooh,
Barner.
Okay. Yeah. So it's funny because I definitely scouted Elijah Arroyo, and I thought he would be this guy. He'd put up this type of numbers. Ain't nothing wrong with AJ Barner now.
Yeah.
10 points, 12, 24, 10. He's putting up solid numbers for a tight end in the situation he's in with the Seahawks. So, again, if you're looking for a waiver wire look, 35% roster, 15% started. It looks like some folks have clued into the thing that is AJ Barner. Others haven't. So keep your eyes peeled.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, yes, indeed, man.
All right. So folks are asking about the homie Matt Stafford. So we're going to take a quick.
Hey, Matt aging like fine wine, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with him. You're right. He might be better these last few years than he ever was in Detroit, and he was pretty damn good in Detroit.
Yeah, man. This Ram situation is really, you know what I'm saying, really took him to another level. I mean, because as we all know, in Detroit, he had the great Calvin Johnson, Nate Burleson. You know, he had some guys over there, but they just didn't have the offensive wherewithal to really take advantage of teams on a consistent basis.
Well, there's such a longer story than even what you gave, man. But it just didn't work out over there. I found it very odd that Sean McVay was like, "Yo, I need some of this," but in the end, he was right. Got a Super Bowl out of the mix, and this guy's still performing, even with back issues. He's had back issues for multiple years now. Regardless, he's getting the job done.
Yeah, and it wasn't much as far as yardage is concerned, but those 5 touchdowns are huge.
Yeah, it's crazy.
hmm So yeah, this is year 16 for old Matt, man. I think
Hi, who am I speaking with? Hey, sorry, man. Go. You keep going.
now you could I think this may be a swan song for him, man. This may be it for him.
Yeah, that's my guy, Matt Stafford, man. He's a dude. He's a dude out there in LA. And same token, like what's really funny about him is you could have probably got him a little bit late in the draft this year.
hmm
Everybody's aiming for the Josh Allens of the world. They're aiming for the Joe Burrows of the world.
And you know why? Because and this is so funny,
Mhm.
ironic too. Coming into training camp, he didn't even participate because of his back issues, and I think that's why he may have slipped in the fantasy
Even
draft.
further. You're right. You're
You
right.
know, but as the season starts, this guy is healthy, and those other guys are injured. Man,
That's
it's
wild.
crazy.
That is a wild take. You are bang on there, right? So everybody was worried that he might not even play.
Right.
Look at everybody else, and ain't nobody else playing. So that's one way of looking at it.
Because looking at the weapons that he has at his disposal, man, there was no way, he was out there, late in his fantasy draft without the rumors of him being hurt.
So wild to talk about, man. There was somebody else oh, here's that comment I'm looking for. Vikings sticking with Wentz over a healthy McCarthy. Let's take a quick peek at Carson Wentz.
I'm not mad at him.
I'm super happy about this because I need them to have a quarterback problem over there. It just bodes better for me personally, and I'm sure it does as well for you, my friend.
You know what? Carson Wentz scares me more than McCarthy
More
does.
than McCarthy, fair enough. He's just not the Carson Wentz of old. Like
Right. Nah,
the
he's not
Carson Wentz
that,
of
but
old is kind of scary, right? He
yeah,
ain't. He's not. I'm a truck you. Carson Wentz and throw dimes all over the field too.
yeah.
We'll
You
see.
know, he had a rough one against Philly, but he still got over that 300-yard mark.
Man, well, yeah. That's a 20-point game for him in Fantasyland. So 10% rostered, 5% started. If you're hurting in a super flex league, he
Yeah,
might be a guy to sort of keep your eyes peeled on with respect to the quarterback position. So Carson Wentz is out there. I like before I'm gonna pull this guy up, but before I get off the quarterback conversation, there's somebody else that we should talk about, and his name is Uncle Joe. Right? Like you can't. I can't go this week without having this. Good Lord above me, right? So 350 yards, give or take a couple yards, 31 attempts, 2 tutties. Jamar Chase is somewhere in Cincinnati going, oh, man, thank you,
Yeah.
right? Whoo-wee, thank you. I'm so glad somebody, just to throw the draft picks over there. Who cares about the draft picks? Just give me something, man. And here's the guy who came and cleaned it up, saved the day, because the Jake Browning thing was not working out, man. Like, for contrast, oh, hey, man, Jake Browning had one good game. He had a good game. 31, 3 tutties. Damn. And they benched his ass. I got it. The A is for AARP. Joseph A. Flacco. Too funny.
I heard that. But Joe's playing another one of his former teams.
Yes, he is.
So he played Pittsburgh last week. Got the Jets this week. We all know the situation Jets are in.
Yay. So remember them things I was saying about the homie Carson Wentz. Joe Flacco, 17% rostered, 8% started. If you're in a Superflex league, if your quarterback is on a bye week this week, which many quarterbacks are, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of Uncle Joe.
Not at all. Because Joe ain't playing with him, man.
No, man. Cup of Joe, bro. It's going to be a good look with respect to who he's playing, most definitely. The Jets, once upon a time, the Jets had a real good defense. Like last few seasons, even though they're not a fantastic team, like they're not winning the Super Bowl or even vying for contention, but the last few seasons, that defense has been nasty.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but it is no longer nasty. They're just letting all levels of bad stuff happen defensively, let alone the offense can't get anything done either. So
I think, man, not to be over, not to overanalyze it, but I think it's a change of philosophy that's just not working. And I think, Aaron Glenn, he's a former Jet, so I think they may stick by him, but they're going to have to give him some time to get his guys in there that's going to really buy in, because those guys are playing now. They're rock solid guys, man. Those are solid guys, man.
Jets fans already trying to call for his head, which is a little bit much.
Well, some people will tell you, kids, if you go 0 for everything, you gotta let him go.
Year one year in.
If he goes 0 for everything, kids, you gotta show him the door, bro.
Damn. Okay. Well,
you can't allow. Nah.
I suppose, like, I can't even really argue with that sentiment, though. Like, I can't argue with it, because that is not a good look. I don't really see much good looking coming out of this organization over the course of the next. You know what? Let's give them the slight benefit of the doubt and do the exercise the way it should be done. Let's do the exercise. There they are, your New York Jets. So they're up against Cincy, so they're probably gonna lose. Bye week, Cleveland. They might take that game. I doubt it, but they could. New England, they're gonna lose. Baltimore, full strength, they're gonna lose. Atlanta, I just don't see them winning. Miami, so they'll win against Miami, even though they lost clearly against Miami earlier on. So they'll take one away. Jacksonville's playing the best football that Jacksonville's ever seen. New Orleans Saints, they could win too. Back to New England, like this. So best case scenario from what I'm seeing here, just on paper, given the remaining schedule, maybe a 2-win season if things shine on them. Yeah, man, not a good look here.
If they get one win, Aaron's job is safe. They just need one.
Well,
and I think they all know that. So we're gonna see how hard they play for him, man.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. You got to give these coaches the opportunity to, you know what I mean? Like if you see, like how else can I say this? And it's no matter how I look at it, it's gonna come out sort of vulgar. So like if you're served a shit sandwich, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what do you do with it? And hopefully the answer is not eat it, right? And right now, unfortunately, he's kind of forced to eat it. You got to eat the shit sandwich and wait, you know what I mean? And wait till next season when maybe you might get something else on the menu. You can order something a little that looks a little bit different, but that's what's on the menu right now. It's only shit sandwiches on the menu.
Yeah.
Brutal.
With a cup with a cup of piss to drink, man.
To wash it down. It's not it. Things ain't looking good in what I call Misfit Island. I've always called the Jets Misfit Island, and that's a long story, but it's
Hey man, look, man. Hey, like you said, the best hope is New Orleans and Miami, mainly because those two teams are pretty much on the same path, especially around that time of the year.
this
So
is it.
it's gonna be a contest to see who's the worst.
Who
But
can keep their job with respect to the coaches, right? Even like
yeah. Now they can look up, like, depending on what Baltimore does this weekend versus us. You know, if Baltimore loses again, you won't see no more Lamar Jackson.
well, so let's just look at it like this, right? So both those cats can get hurt. You're coming fresh off of right. There's a good look. So we're gonna look at that here before we move off the Jets. Actually, there's a very good look. Except again, Arizona's on bye week.
Yeah.
So I like, man. So here's a problem with this. We'll get into it now.
I love Jacoby Brissett, man. I think he's growing to be my favorite backup, man. But
He's up there with the best backups in the league. Super overlooked, underrated. He just happened to go to a bad team and had a bit of a bad outing as a starter. Like, and I don't really blame him. I blame the organization. That's really where things went. He's not a bad quarterback, though. You know, like he's just not. 4% rostered, 2% started. If you need a guy, not this week, but next week, you got to stash a guy. You know what I mean? Like, go take a look at Jacoby Brissett, and here's why. Backup capacity, 26 points, 21 points. I really flirted with grabbing Jacoby Brissett this past week. I honestly did. The only in both my leagues, the only reasons why I did not pick up Jacoby Brissett were twofold. Number one, found me some Drake May. Yeah. And on the other side, who did I grab? Oh, found me some Brock Purdy. Nice. So Brock Purdy's the next final guy. And I know when Nomad running the ones and twos in the back, he's going to go F a Brock Purdy.
But hey, listen, man, I think, I'll take Jacoby Brissett over Brock Purdy, man. I would.
Here's why you wouldn't. Because Kyler Murray's coming back for his job. Like, he's gonna go get his job. Right.
You think Kyler's back after the bye?
Of course. Right. So he's been basically out for the week. It might have been 2 weeks. So he's been out 2 weeks. He's got a third week to get back at it, and then he, to rest again, and then he'll be back. He'll be back in 4 weeks.
And he's going home too. The play in front of his home. He's going back to Tech. They play Dallas.
See, he's definitely playing. They didn't put him on IR or anything like that. So most definitely he's coming back to play after the bye week. So it sucks for Jacoby Brissett, but I'm just saying I just don't know if man, I just don't know if Kyler Murray has it in him, man. What are you saying, bro?
Don't start him, man. You know Brock Purdy's supposed to be the bag and grocery store. You know that.
Well, this grocery boy. So there's another grocery boy who went to the Super Bowl, took a team. They wound up calling his team the greatest show on turf. So you know what I mean? Like there's sometimes these grocery baggers come out and become NFL QBs.
We ain't doing that, kids. We are not comparing them Brock Purdy to no.
You're the one who brought up the groceries.
Come on,
You're the one who brought up the groceries, man. You brought up the groceries.
You crossed the line. Now that's a whole.
I don't know, man. I think Brock sit another week, man.
Hey, man, he might sit another week, and it's fine for me. Just consider my quarterback situation. I should be all right for at least another week. So had to grab him. Note to the world: if you're okay with sitting and waiting a week, and you need a quarterback moving forward, Brock Purdy should be back real soon. I have a feeling he might just play this week. Let's see what they're saying. No certainty, but he's a good look when he gets back. This
but
this 49ers offense
Jones ain't doing bad though, man.
Who? Mac?
Jones.
Big Mac?
Yeah.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
0004. Mac Jones. Where's he at? Where you at? Come on now.
But that's another team that's limited, man. They're limited with weapons and they're using what they can to get by. But the power of coaching, man, they still 5-2.
My boy's name is 3 letters. That's crazy. They didn't give him the K. That's just cold blood. I'm sorry, but look, there's a bad looking at Atlanta, and they won that game. That game was all on the ground. It's just Christian McCaffrey, bro. But he's having a good showing. It's funny because I was listening to Kyle Shanahan talk about this, and it was like, you know what? I just overthought the whole thing. I'm sorry. I started laughing because he was like, man, we went into that draft. He's like, I coached Mac at some point. I met Mac again, and I was like, man, yeah, we gonna pick this guy. We're gonna pick him. And then he got to look at Trey Lance and was like, damn, Trey Lance could run. And that was it. He was like, I fell out of love with Mac Jones and just talked myself out of this situation. And if I had to go back and reevaluate this situation, clearly he would have gone with Mac Jones. And I don't blame him. The questions in that draft was Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Trevor Lawrence was the unmitigated number one pick going to Jacksonville. So out of the rest of those guys, did I forget Wilson? Where's Wilson right now? Zach Wilson.
Man, sitting on the couch watching the NBA, man.
Oh man,
NBA, man. Since we're here, kids, we talking about the 49ers. Let's talk about the opponent real quick.
Okay.
Let's get into the Houston Texans, man. Let's get into one CJ Stroud.
Oh boy.
Hey man. Look, I'm with you when you're right. And this goes, you know what I'm saying? This is to CJ Stroud. But CJ, nah, man. We can sit up here and blame it on whatever you want, but when you were doing great, you called yourself great. So now you ain't doing so great.
See, so like you know why it is though. You know what's going on. Like I can't even blame CJ.
Man, I mean, because he didn't last year. He didn't finish too. He didn't do so well either. But
there's a reason. So the conversations to be had. So first one is everybody hurt, right? Like everybody on this team is hurt. Period. Thank goodness for Nico Collins, who's the man. Guess who got hurt this week? So Nico Collins, who's been holding it down for my fantasy football team, just got. I believe he's in concussion protocol. Fingers crossed. Hopefully he comes out. But
really, to be honest with you, it's not super terrible. It just looks bad when you're watching the game. I think that's what it is for me.
Brother, everybody hurt here, man. Tank Dell's gone. Nico's now gone. when you go where's the third string? Yeah.
I mean, they got Christian Kirk. He ain't play. I don't think he may have played 1 or 2 games all year, but
Christian Kirk been hurt. He's back for this.
yeah,
This might be his second or third week playing. Then you get to the thing, where you say his game last season wasn't great either. The reason why his game wasn't great last year either was because of a certain Joe Mixon running ruckshot on the league. They got Joe Mixon, and it was like, you don't have to throw. Plus, everybody hurt. So, Joe, you just go score 3 touchdowns today, and we'll walk away with a W. Guess who's hurt, right? Like it's the same story. The only question, I only have one question about this team. And I wish somebody would tell me what the F it is, and I'm gonna look at it right now. Yeah. They have this Dameon Pierce at one point, and let's look at Dameon Pierce a couple years back.
He's buried, man. He's buried.
Dameon Pierce was a G.
Yeah, because he had 1,000 yards. He had 1,000 yards, didn't he? As a rookie, right?
1,000 yards as a rookie, putting up stellar numbers all the way through, but then he gets hurt. So this is why they turn around, they bring in Joe Mixon. Once they brought in Joe Mixon, he can't get on the field, right? When he gets on the field, decent goes, but he's sharing touches with Joe Mixon, who's running the league rushing for the Texans. Year 2, same situation. Joe Mixon is running it down. He gets hurt again. So he has one good week for the most part. Troubles, little to no touches. Joe Mixon gets hurt towards the end of the season. He has one game, 40-point game. 2025 rolls around. Absolutely nothing from this guy. He's so
he ran a kickback last year, didn't he?
Yeah, he did do a couple of kick returns this year as well, but that's about all that he's been responsible for. He is just buried in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-man buried. 7-man RB roster, dog. Like, that's crazy. So,
yes, wow.
Moral of the story, and why I'm going through all this, is that CJ Stroud clearly needs, as a young rookie quarterback, and we see that with any young quarterback, if you've got a run game to rely on, Dameon who? Yeah, Crimson, right? Like, if you've got a run game to rely on, now you've got a football team. Now you can do special things, right? Bunch of guys in the box, you can go over top. Once the threat is there, you can start to run yourself and enter the life of CJ Stroud. Unfortunately, right now, the run game ain't there. All the wide receivers are hurt, and their offensive line is also a bit shaky right now, too. So just, everybody be cool. It's funny because in at least one of the leagues, man, I saw CJ Stroud just get drop. He was like, you know what? Forget, I'm done. And somebody just jettisoned CJ Stroud, like the ship was sinking. In any event, I made the mistake of not picking him up. I probably should have. I might be better off for it. But all of that being said, there's reasons why CJ Stroud is not having the resurgence that we would almost expect from him. There's troubles in Houston.
Yeah. And I think they just need to focus on, I mean, you can run it Chubb situationally, but I think you need to focus on a kid from Southern Cal, man. Woody Marks, man. I mean, come on, man. Like, this thing is kind of getting out of control, bro. And you're not allowing yourself to really, flourish because you're kind of handcuffing this kid for whatever reason. But
why? You know what the reason is, right? It's exactly the same thing as what happened with just look at it. It's the same thing that happened to Dameon.
Yeah, right? But see, I don't understand that. I don't get it.
So,
and Woody Marks is a lot more explosive than Pierce, if that's the problem. Mm-hmm. But Pierce is a very instinctive runner. I like the way he run the football, and he got hurt and just completely knocked him out of the line. I mean, he just got knocked out of favor. Damn.
this is what's gonna the potential for that to happen with Woody Marks is huge. And let me layer it in now. So with Dameon Pierce, he gets replaced by a big name, big talent running back. Now you can't see the field. Here we are in 2025, and the big name, big pay running back is Nick Chubb in front of Woody Marks, who's on a rookie deal. So you can sit him. You don't necessarily got to play him because dollar for dollar. You kind of want to get the most out of the guy you're actually spending money on. So this is a business decision, and that's where we're at with Woody Marks and Damian. It's the same thing.
But see, now we gotta look at upper management, bro, because you done sign a guy to some paper that and had 3 knee surgeries.
Well, they did it out of desperation because the guy that they're hoping gets back sooner or later will take the reins, and that's again Joe Mixon. Like if Joe Mixon is healthy, there's no a couple of bucks to Nick Chubb ain't no thing. Joe's playing over Nick Chubb. So then Nick Chubb falls back. All I know is y'all looking, if there's a come free agency, if people are looking for running backs, they all might live in Houston, Texas.
And the deadline is what, week 9?
For trade?
Yeah, it's week 9, right?
I think it's week 9. I think it's November the 4th is the date.
And I think these teams that got these guys who haven't played all year, I think they have one more week to decide if they're going to activate them. If not, they're going to be out for the whole season.
Okay, so it's probably closer to 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. So November 4th, I believe, is the day. We're at the 21st of October, 2 weeks from today, precisely. Tuesday, November the 4th. So 2 weeks to figure things out. Yup, without Mixon, that's it. They are one-dimensional. They try to replace it with Chubb. Chubb gets hurt. They don't trust the other 2 guys.
Because I'm gonna tell you this.
On the field. What is it?
Another loss or 2. Ain't no sense even putting Joe Mixon in the help.
Well, they won't, because you're right. If they're out of contention, just rest the guy. Let him get back into shape for next season and run with what you got and what you're paying for with guys like Nick Chubb and you're off to the races. One more time, Woody Marks a rookie. He ain't going anywhere, so you're all right. But it's those other guys in that running back room that these got British Brook gone, Jacob Johnson gone, Daryl Ogunbowale gone, Dameon Pierce gone. Come free agency, all those guys are out. So it is in the Texans' best interest, to be frank with you here, to look towards trading off one of these guys. Like there's just too much humanity in that running back room not to look to get some kind of capital back, or else they're out of here and they get nothing for them.
Yeah, now I do believe they found something last night. I mean, this tight end has always been there. They just don't use them. But the tight end last night, oh god,
Over? Dalton Schultz. Yeah, he's a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy. He can play. But
shit.
For some reason, the Texans just don't use him consistently.
Yeah, 19% rostered, 8% started. Dalton Schultz might be available in your league out there, man. Keep your eyes peeled. If that's the reality, get yourself some Dalton Schultz. He's not a joke by any stretch of the imagination. He's a real, when it comes to being a tight end, he's one of the real ones out there. So, especially given the fact that Nico, and like why you blow up, because Nico Collins goes into the tent. So on a week like this week against the San Francisco 49ers, don't be surprised if Dalton Schultz shines.
Yeah, because I mean that's another hurt unit defensively.
Yes, sir.
So it's gonna be an opportunity for CJ to play makeup, man. Because and you've seen the way Kyle Pitts was able to exploit that 49ers defense.
He played a great, I'm not on, I'm not a Kyle Pitts believer. You are much more of a Kyle Pitts believer than me. But
Yeah.
gee whiz, he had a great game this week, man. He found himself wide open. And like I say that, and most of the time it was a 50-50 ball being thrown to him. And he's just body and length over most of the defenders on him.
And then, you know, they finally, I don't know what clicked, or I don't know, finally it clicked. Because, you know, I picked him in our fantasy league, but I got rid of that joke out of 2-3 weeks. I couldn't take it no more.
I remember talking to you about it because you're like, oh, I got a guy, and I did not have any clue who you were looking at, and it turned out to be Kyle Pitts. Here he is. You selected him, and four weeks in, ain't nothing.
Damn, did you dump them 2-3 weeks in?
Hey, man, yeah, I couldn't take it no more, man.
You had enough.
Couldn't take it no more, man. Had enough, you know. You know, one thing about me, you got 2 weeks with me. If I can't get nothing out, you need 2 weeks. Ain't nothing we can do. I'm gonna let you do it with somebody else.
See, week 1 was like, these ain't like, you must have been mad because like week 4 you had a couple of, I bet you weren't even playing them. Week 4 you had a decent week.
Was definitely playing them, but the issue was my bench is outperforming you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Now the week I cut him out was week 3.
Oh no! So you
and
missed
then
out.
He played Washington, blow it up, but I ain't even feel nothing about it, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Because I think I got Hunter Henry at the time. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that. That's a move.
But he on my list too.
Really?
He been short, so he on the verge of getting the knife too. But I ain't found nobody I can make up for him. So he's just there.
Okay, I see what you mean. Man, a couple weeks back, Tom Brady was sitting beside Rob Gronkowski. Looked him dead in the eye and said, "Man, Drake May's passing the football to the greatest tight end in history." And Rob Gronkowski he was like, "Oh, you know what I mean? Oh, what are you saying, Tom?" Just crushed his soul. It was super funny. But I hear where you're coming from. Normally, this young man puts up mad numbers. So here's the thing. I think Drake May kind of figured out that Stephon Diggs plays for his football team. You know what I mean? Like somebody finally clued out. Shit, there's a wide receiver here after all. So Stephon Diggs is getting the targets. It's working. There is another young man who gets targets on this football team that we definitely need to talk about before we get out of here.
Yes, sir.
His name is Kayshon Boutte. Whoa. 26 week 1. Targets start to pick up. When the targets pick up, the numbers pick up. 26 here. When the targets get low, the numbers get low. It's 1 week with a single target and eight points. That's pretty crazy. Again, scouted this guy. This guy, over time, will be a guy. There's no two ways about that, in my opinion. I think he's a super solid move. Keep your eyes peeled on Kayshon Boutte. What are your thoughts, D?
He's getting better every week. Week to week, he's getting better, so can't argue with it. And the quarterback play is getting better too. You know, he's one guy, but Boutte is one guy that I picked up on my fantasy team. So I'm looking, you know, I got a crowded room, so I think I'm gonna find room for him this week.
All right, we'll do a couple more folks to look at. So since we're on the New England tip, we'll just keep it short and sweet. 91% rostered now. I can dig it. 69% started. Drake Mays, he's legitimate. He's a conversation to be had. You need a quarterback, and you can get yourself a quarterback, and his name is Drake May. You did not do yourself a disservice. Speaking of quarterbacks that you may not have done yourself a disservice with, I don't know what's going on, guys, but boy, Danny Dimes, it didn't work out for you over there, but you know, kudos to Danny Dimes where he is. He's doing great, playing good football. But the young Mr. Dart ain't messing around. He's throwing darts like his name implies. 30, almost 40 points last week between this guy, Wandale Robinson, who oh man, I'm getting myself in trouble. I'm trying to, I want to shut it down sooner or later. But there's another guy to talk about, man. Another guy to talk about in the absence of Malik Neighbors. Wandale Robinson is stepping up to the plate, and he ain't
very much so.
Ain't playing around. He's a dude. Jackson Dart's a dude. Cam Scatterbull's a dude, and I won't even do the Cam Scatterbull thing because we know he's a dude. We've been here already. I will look at Darius Slayton because, as I said, as well, and it hasn't happened yet. There will be a Darius Slayton week. Keep your eyes cool. You know what I mean? Keep your eyes peeled on Darius Slayton. There will be a week. It just hasn't happened. And looky here, he's out. He's out. So sooner or later.
So question: who's coming back for the Giants? Is it Stonehands? Stonehands Slayton?
I'm telling you, he'll show up sooner or later and have a week. He'll have a week, and it'll only be a single week. But there will be a Darius Slayton week. I can almost knock on wood. Single week. Ain't right now because he's hurt.
Yeah, they got Philly this week, but okay. I'm gonna go back to Jackson Dart for a second.
All right.
Jackson Dart played about the best game you can play versus the Broncos, except for one thing, and I think he took the air out of his team when he threw that interception late.
Mm-hmm.
I think that took the air out of those guys, man. And I think that loss, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, but I think that loss is gonna take them. It's gonna check them out for the whole season.
Ooh, okay. Well, those are two burgeoning teams on the come up, and it's cool to see them sort of battle it out the way that they did. It is an unfortunate situation, but those are rookie mistakes to be had. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's a rookie mistake, it's coughing up a duck late in the game and losing the game because of it. So he'll work his way out of that. Will the team kind of forgive him this season? I don't know, but he's only played a couple of games. He's starting to feel it. He's starting to get it. And I think he will just only get better. I think things finally for the New York Giants, I think things are starting to look up.
But I think he was the best quarterback for most of that game on the field. Mm-hmm. He was better than that. And I'm not a Knicks fan at all.
Oh no?
No, sir.
Quick and dirty with Bo Nix. Oh boy. He ain't listening to either one of us because I ain't a Knicks fan either. He's getting it done. He's getting it done out there. 87% rostered, 64% started for a reason. He's getting it done. I don't believe it, but I do believe Sean Payton. Right?
So, yeah, of course.
I'll say it that way.
Of course.
Yeah, Jackson Dart is saving Brian Daboll's job without question. You're nailing it. He is, man. That's how Bo but look at him. That's kind of how he looks naturally. You know, no man saying Knicks look like a deer in the headlights at times. But that's just his natural face. I'm messing around. Like I say, he's going to continue to ascend and has everything to do with coaching, man. Remember, this is a guy who kind of helped. Sean Payton helped a couple of very viable quarterbacks become who they are, and I think he's on the path to do so with with Bo Nix as well.
Yeah, and as much as I don't fool with them, they play in Dallas this week. So if your quarterback situation is shaky or you in doubt, start Bo Nix.
Oh yeah, that's he's worthwhile. You know, Dallas will allow him to put up numbers. That goes without saying. It will be a let me just check this, but it'll be a shootout in Dallas for sure. My question now is, let's just see this. Oops. Is Kenny Clark injured? I think he is. I'm not sure if Kenny Clark plays football this weekend in this game. I'm not sure if he plays in this game. He might be out. If he's out in this game, it'll be a high-scoring affair.
I'm looking shootout anyway.
Yeah, I'm with it. With or without with or without Kenny Clark. I'm just saying even more likely if Kenny Clark is gone. But jeez. So we've been all over the league today, man.
Yeah, man.
A pretty interesting go. That being said, I think it's almost that time to get the heck out of Dodge. So we'll put the groove on and get a bit funky with it and talk you guys out. But welcome to enter the Bye-Pocalypse. Welcome to it. Manage your team accordingly as your as it should be, as you should. There's a lot of considerations to be made here. 6 teams on bye. Make sure you don't get stuck in a situation where you don't have the backup to take care of business, man. So
correct.
Keep peeled, man. D, what are your thoughts on the Bye-Pocalypse?
Hey, man, gotta stay strong, stay in it, man. We all going through it.
Maybe there's one guy that last to talk about, and it might be this young man. I'm surprised you're not right there. Oh, there you are. Like I knew you'd be on trending up. So, much to the chagrin of everybody, he's 100% rostered, 100% started. I dropped his ass early this season. I'll just tell the world that.
Travis.
Yeah. So Travis, it wasn't getting nothing done. But, oh, he got it done.
Yeah, so, a lot of famous first this week. Famous first 100-yard game, first touchdown.
And there it is, right? So I think there was a little bit of injury with respect to the wide receiver core, and they had to focus on. There it is, right? So Brian Thomas Jr. went down. They had to then focus on Travis Hunter, and he got the job done. The question is, how long is the injury? They're on bye week. If things continue with respect to injury into a third week, Travis Hunter is a very good look for week 9. If you can find him on waiver wire, go do it. And I'm sure you'll be better off for it. But with that respect, we'll look towards shutting this thing down. Manage your stuff accordingly. Nomad, you got anything to say, man, with you in the back? Any 2 cents from you, bro?
Nothing much. Just shout out the show tomorrow for me. We good.
Oh, good call. Hey, man, Wednesday night, always time for some extra sauce. We'll be saucing it up on the Nomad Network right here on Keza Canuck on YouTube. Give us a like, share, subscribe in either case, and do the same thing for my guy over at Sports Chicago Style. And you know what? Do the same thing for CSP and the big guys and Tracks. Give those guys a little bit of love over on CSP, and we will pay it forward as we do every week with giving you a fantastic look at fantasy football. But with all that said, one more win for the good guys. We out. Peace.
Peace.